You, like everyone else in this world, must communicate in some form or fashion to meet your basic needs. Think about our first attempts to communicate. As babies, we cried to be fed, to be changed, to be soothed into sleep. Some of us cried more than others, am I right? Fortunately, we humans move beyond this first form of communication. Hi, I'm Nikita Reed, and this is my friend and colleague, Sarah Bishop.
When we talk about communicating, we typically think about using words, verbally or in writing. Yes, we communicate in those ways. But we also communicate with body language, with the tone of our voice, the expression on our faces. We use all those methods to communicate about our joy, our sadness and pain, our frustrations and confusion, our hopes and dreams.
So how we communicate makes the real difference in how we truly connect with others. Get what we need and help others get what they need as well. There's a lot that goes into communication, and that's why we're bringing you this course. Good communication matters in your personal relationships, in your casual relationships, in the workplace. We're going to help you learn to communicate better in many areas that are relevant to your work. This course will make a positive difference in how you communicate with your coworkers, your clients, your supervisor, and the people you supervise. We'll give you the tools and tips that you can use right away to make your workday more pleasant, more productive, and help you better serve Arkansans. I'm here to give you a sneak peek of the lessons in this course. Your agency has partnered with the Sam M. Walton College of Business at the University of Arkansas to bring you this course designed just for you.
But wait, Nikita, you haven't said why good communication matters in the first place. Let's talk about that.
You're right, Sarah. Why does good communication matter, especially at work? Well, there are several reasons, but I'll stick with these. Good communication increases client satisfaction, engagement with your coworkers, and your daily productivity. Good communication just makes work a more satisfying place to be. As I said earlier, good communication impacts how we connect with others. That's because communication isn't only what you say or write. Communication is a process, a sharing of a common meaning, so it's also how you listen and understand what others are sharing. If we can't effectively find a common meaning, we can't possibly connect with others.
That's super helpful, thank you. This is all the more important when we realize that according to experts, 80% of our workday is spent communicating with others. Really, think about how many emails you get and read, how many you send. Pull up your sent file next time you open your email account. Think about how many conversations and meetings you have, how much time you're on the phone every day. When that much of your day is impacted by poor or great communication, it can be the difference between a good and a bad day at work. So Nikita, we've shared why communication is important, but we're not the only ones who feel that way. Your DHS leadership recognizes this too.
The reason we think in leadership that a communications class is incredibly important for the employees of DHS is multifold. We have many reasons, but a lot of it centers around the fact that communication is what we all do all day long, both with each other and with our clients. It's not just how we inform clients, it's also how we hear from clients. It's how we understand what they need. It's how we make sure that they understand what we're trying to tell them. Communication for me has always been probably the most important skill anyone can have. It's both the ability to tell others what you're thinking and help them understand, but it's equally the ability to listen to others and the ability to hear what's being said and ask the right questions. At the end of the day, if someone has strong communication skills, they can do just about anything. So the employees at DHS truly have difficult jobs. I cannot think of a job in our organization that isn't honestly hard to do and doesn't have stress associated with it. It's the nature of the work. And for those employees who work for us, it's incredibly important, therefore, that they have a chance to grow their skills, that they have a chance to continue to develop. And, we want this not just so that the employees can do their jobs better, but we want it so that they can grow as people themselves. My own personal dream would be that people who come to work at DHS stay at DHS till they retire. But no one is going to stay in a place where they do the same thing every day and they never grow and they never develop more skills and they never are able to really push themselves to learn more and become more. Communication training and communication skills are incredibly important for all employees at all levels and in all of our roles. When I think across DHS, many of our employees are working day-to-day with clients, whether they're working with them at a county office, whether they're working with them in a home, whether they're working with them at one of the facilities. They are interacting with clients at some of the most difficult crisis points in their lives. When people encounter DHS, it's usually because something's gone wrong. And it's because their world in some way has fallen apart. So developing stronger and stronger communication skills to really work with those clients and to help those individuals is incredibly important. But even if you're not a frontline employee, at DHS, the communication skills are incredibly important to be able to do the job. For one thing, everyone that's out there on the front line is relying on all the rest of us. They're feeding information back to us. They're communicating with us. I often think about a client who shows up at one of our offices. Something has happened. They're scared. They have realized their child has gotten sick, and they've realized that their Medicaid has been cut off. They come in, and they're trying very hard to communicate with someone what's happened. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who will come in, as we all know, because our employees deal with them every day, they may not be able to read very well. They've received a notice, they don't understand it. They're trying to answer questions, and we often ask questions and we use government speak. They don't understand government speak, and they're trying to answer the question, and all they know is that their little 2-year-old can't get her medicine and they're scared. And when people get scared, their communication skills get worse and worse. So communication, the better we can get at communicating, the better we can get at learning to listen to that client, the better we can get at learning how to help that client calm down, how to ask the questions in a way the client understands, how to engage in a conversation, and how to really figure out what's going on. The more we can get all the information we need to be able to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it. Funniest thing about communication is the more you do it and the more you learn to really, really listen and talk with others, the more satisfying your job is every day. And I think that's one of the most concrete things I would really love to see come out of this. Really would love to see all the employees here not just able to do their jobs well, but to really enjoy their jobs and get satisfaction. And I think having solid communication skills will help that.
It's refreshing to hear how Secretary Gillespie values effective communication. She knows effective communicators are empathetic listeners. They ask questions. They observe other people's body language, how they react to their surroundings, and how they pay attention to how they write. It's clear she knows your jobs are challenging, and you need help to do those jobs well. What you do matters to Arkansans, and we want this course to give you the tools to make those difficult conversations less stressful and help you to be more productive and effective in your daily tasks. We're not going to discuss complex concepts here or offer academic theories. We want to share proven, effective ways you can communicate better immediately.
This course is divided into 5 lessons. You may notice some common threads running through the lessons because those threads, listening and asking questions, taking time to plan an email or think through a response, are the hallmarks of effective communication.
So let's get into the lessons.
Okay, in lesson 2, you'll actually see me again. I'll share how communicating with equity and inclusion in mind makes you and others feel more valued and respected. Increasing awareness of equity and inclusion will help make DHS a more diverse and productive environment for you and your clients.
We devote Lesson 3 to empathy and communication. Developing empathetic communication will especially help you with an important skill we mentioned earlier, one that is necessary to making connections happen: listening.
And verbal communication is a natural follow-up to empathy. So in Lesson 4, we'll talk about how using active listening along with nonverbal cues can strengthen your connecting skills.
In Lesson 5, we'll walk you through steps to reduce the overall volume of written communication and produce better emails and documents.
Last, we'll talk about building better relationships at DHS. I don't know what comes to your mind, but when I say building better relationships, I think difficult conversations. We'll share ways that make those difficult conversations less stressful.
Are you ready, Sarah? I'm ready for everyone at DHS to be great communicators. We don't want you to just survive the workday. We want you to thrive. So let's hop in.